New at 11, the community rallies around survivors of domestic violence with the Take Back the Night rally.
Telling everyone there are services available to help if they are threatened or abused. WECT's Delaney Tarpley talked to some of the folks in downtown Wilmington tonight. Delaney, what's the message the organizers are trying to get out to the community?
Well, Fran, the theme of tonight's rally was Stronger Together, and that sums up their message pretty nicely. The organizers wanted to share with survivors that no matter how isolated they may feel, they are never truly alone.
For Shaquana Pulliam, the issue is personal.
My sister, Tarika Pulliam, was a detention officer with the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office, and we celebrated 15 years of her death this year. Her estranged boyfriend took her life on August 6, 2008. She's the reason behind the passion that I have.
As the prevention specialist for domestic violence shelter and services, she helps plan Take Back the Night. This is its 33rd year.
It's an honor and celebration of survivors of domestic violence. We understand that there are victims in our community that need our resources and that also need to be celebrated for their strength.
Complete with an exhibit, music, and even assistance dogs in training, organizers wanted to share one main message.
We are here for you. You are not alone, regardless of what phase you are in your situation. Everyone's story is unique, and we're just here to support you.
Pulliam also says to help with prevention, look out for warning signs in your loved ones.
If you start noticing isolation, changes in mood and behaviors, especially when someone is around their loved one, just start paying attention and doing some check-ins.
Because many know all too well,
not everyone makes it out of their situation, and we are aware of that. But tonight we want to celebrate the strength of the survivors and just show that there is a ton of community support here for you.
Speakers also shared tonight that both women and men are victims of domestic violence. Fran, 35% of women and 28% of men experience domestic violence, sexual violence, or are stalked by an intimate partner during their lives.
All right, thanks for that report, Delaney. And it's very important for people to know about the resources available for them in our communities. There are people ready to listen and help if you are someone you know is experiencing domestic violence.
Here's just a few of the resources right here in southeastern North Carolina. You'll see 24/7 crisis hotlines for the domestic violence shelter and services, as well as a safe place. Both organizations operate out of Wilmington and serve people in New Hanover County and others.
Hope Harbor Home provides safe shelter and an advocacy for domestic violence victims in Brunswick County. People in Bladen and Columbus counties can get support and assistance from Families First. Safe Haven provides shelter, food, clothing, and other services to victims in Pender County. Crisis numbers for each of these groups are on your screen now. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.